if I just stopped, right? If I just went and got a job for somebody else, right? If I gave up, it never, ever could have got to the place it is now.
You know, it sucks to lose money, but when it's inevitable, it's like you are bleeding thousands of dollars a month. This was a rental, it was a condo, and it was a couple grand a month that they're bleeding. So it's like you're losing a couple grand a month. You're down $25,000 a year. You're hanging on for dear life. You're stressed. You're not sleeping. You're not eating well. You're not working those extra shifts. You're not doing the things that you need to do. You're really just like taking years off of your life. The market doesn't look like it's getting any better. It's getting worse. Yes, you're going to have to sell that condo for $150,000 loss, whatever it is,
Sure. Every fucking plan you come up with hits a brick wall.
right?
Yeah.
And so it's like you're borrowing the 25 grand that you're losing every year. Like,
My
what happens if in
interest on
two or
that
three
house,
years
TK?
now you're still down, all the interest payments and all that kind of stuff. The market's down even further now. Like, what was that worth it? You know?
My
So
interest payments were 15 grand a month on this one house. And
yeah,
people were like, just hang on for
just hang.
longer. Like, can't you just
Hold,
hold on?
oh,
The market's going to turn. The market's going to turn. Just
and it
hang
did.
on. Can't
It
you
did, but
just
it would have
move
cost you
into it?
150,000 in juice to hold on for that 10 months.
Right.
Yeah.
But what actually happened is like the market bounced back and went roaring past where prices were when it went right. Like it
Yeah.
roared back in 10 months. And if I
Yeah.
did wait that 10 months,
Yeah.
it would have been a very, very, very different story for this guy. Like
Yeah.
very different. The
And there's lots of
trajectory
people who could hold on right now and will do just fine.
for
There's people who
sure.
will be, 10 years from now laughing that, that happened to them. But there's other people who over the next 12 to 24 months are going to be forced to sell anyways. Those
Yeah.
guys need to make a difficult decision today.
Well, I'll tell you, the decision is definitely a hell of a lot easier to make from a younger perspective than I think an older perspective. Because now, look, I made that decision in my early 30s. I was full of energy. Okay. I was younger. My body parts moved the way that I wanted them to move for the most part. Like there was nothing that could stop me back then. But now I'm 48, TK, and I don't have the same level of energy. My body doesn't work the same way. I'm lazier. I feel more entitled because I have a small level of success, you know? I don't want to do all that shit. And so I can only imagine for somebody older than me facing this situation, it's fucking scary as fuck. But I imagine that if you're well, I went through it when I was so young and stupid that I learned a bunch of lessons, but like had I had a little bit more experience with the way things worked and I had maybe even known to understand, world economics, macroeconomics, maybe even a little microeconomics would have been a good idea to know, right?
Any
If
economics at that point,
but if I had
because it
just kind
sounded,
of not been like stuck in this little Toronto bubble and this like perpetual market that just constantly shot upwards, right? If I knew what was going on in the past and I knew what was going on around me and I believed my gut feel from all the stuff I was hearing, right? Like there's a million lessons in this stupidity, but the biggest lesson is like if I just stopped, right? If I just went and got a job for somebody else, right? If I gave up, it never, ever could have got to the place it is now. And I swear to God, like I was
mhm,
thinking, I knew we were going to talk about this before the show. And I was thinking before, I was like, man, like it's pretty fucking good right now. It's
it's
not
good right
like
now. Exactly.
wonderful, like and perfect or anything, but it's like from where I came from to where I'm at, when I was really just kind of dissecting that and thinking about it, I was like, holy shit, man, because the hole that I dug myself on those two houses, if you
Yeah.
do the math, okay, and don't forget, like, there's still taxes on the sale of a new house, right? So,
But
like,
you also,
if
but
you
you
do the
also,
real math, the
yeah.
debt was like
Yeah, you got killed.
crushing.
You got killed. But the 10 years that you spent, doing those deals, doing development deals, learning about the um, sort of development fabric within the city, having all that experience, knowing not to build single family houses anymore, because that's not where the real money is.
No, it
You got
stopped.
you got put into the high rise and mid rise, development world, and you got to learn the best real estate in my mind, the best real estate to be involved with. This is the biggest money, the biggest players, the most profits, everything. So it's like
Yeah.
that's where you wanted to be. Like this is the ideal place to be. And I don't think you would have got there. I think you would have been a successful home builder and you would have been running around building houses like State View Homes and you could have gone belly up at 50.
Well, that's the thing is a
Right?
1,000,000%. If I didn't get killed back then, I
Yeah.
just would have got killed the next time around. Like maybe it'd
Yeah.
be now, and I probably
2017,
would have lost.
2022,
I would have
something
lost
like
a
that.
bloody fortune.
Yeah.
Back then, I lost like a little bit of money. I had
Yeah.
so much runway, and that was the real decision. Was like, it's probably easier to just fold right now and start fresh, right, and
Mm-hmm.
just claw my way back and go, 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 go
Mm-hmm.
than it is to like figure out how to just bury myself more and more and more and more. Right
Mm-hmm.
now, if I had a crystal ball, for God's sakes, and I knew it was going to bounce back so quick, I would have found that money somehow.
Another veto.
But I'll be honest with you, I tried every veto under every bridge everywhere. Like it wasn't happening. There
There's
wasn't
only
enough
one. You
vetoes.
already tapped him out. Yeah. He was like, listen,
Everybody,
buddy, you need to sell that house. What was he telling you at that time?
like, the clock is ticking, right?
Yeah.
Now, he was actually a wonderful guy. At the end of this thing, he gave me a discount on the interest. It was supposed to
Mm,
be 12 points back then, and I think he reduced it to 10, which he
mm,
didn't have to do at all. I mean, he
mm,
could have taken those houses because he gave me a lot of extra time to try and get rid of them.
mm-hmm.
Um, but I'll tell you, like, if anybody made a goddamn fortune on those houses, is that guy. That guy off of those three first houses I built made a
Yeah.
bloody fortune. And he had no risk. Like first mortgage, first
What do you mean
position.
no risk?
What's his risk? Taking my house?
I dealt with a power sale down by in Guildwood back onto Lake Ontario,
Mm,
and they you know had the person they gave all those distributions out too early. They gave her a first mortgage 1.6, then they gave her a second mortgage of like 800,000, and they
mm,
ended up selling the house after they took it because it was like just gutted and nothing was really done for 1.6.
mm.
So they lost a
There's
fortune, and it was like 14% interest. Well,
well, somebody
you
didn't
lost your whole
underwrite
principal.
that loan well, I think, because nothing
Not well.
dropped that
No,
crazy.
it was
Well,
completely mishandled,
yeah,
and it was
completely
also
mishandled.
the funds were distributed way like they were she was sending the reports and all that stuff, and they were giving her the money. But
Yeah,
like when I got there, I mean the house was gutted. If
yeah.
anybody had just walked over there and seen what she had done, they would have realized that she did no work. And I knew the lady too. That's the funny part. She was
It's
like an old client of mine. So like after it was all said and done, she was like somebody that I was showing houses to, making offers for at one point, and then she disappeared on me.
it's a crazy market.
Daryl,
People do crazy things. I
I'm
think
glad.
I
I'm glad
wonder.
you screwed up big time in 2008 and 2009. And I think it's pretty obvious that you screwed up. Like I don't want to be like, "Oh, you was bad luck." You made all these decisions that were incredibly risky. And then,
For
the market
sure.
didn't bail you out. And so, yeah, you got screwed. But I think you learned a
I
lot
didn't
from
get
that.
screwed. I definitely screwed myself
Screwed
100%. But
yourself. What I mean is,
listen,
yeah, like
the biggest lesson of the whole thing, and something you can't control is that
mhm.
timing is everything. Okay.
Yes.
Timing is everything.
But
And,
but
and
but you were
you can
so
have the
over
best
leveraged.
idea.
I'm being honest with
Right.
you here. I'm trying to tell you, like,
Oh, I
you
know.
were so over leveraged on those deals. You bought two properties. One you didn't even see that,
Sure.
whatever. You had funds doing all
Reckless.
sorts of shady
Oh,
things.
yeah.
You
Reckless.
had the painter Carlos in the house for way too long.
Oh, yeah.
You had
Everything.
yeah. So, you
Expensive
talked to the lady
plumbers.
outside the house with the dog.
All
You
crazy
had all these
stupid.
little tiny details that were just like,
Right.
okay, you screwed up. So
I
you're young and stupid.
totally
I'm
fucked
still
the
young and
whole thing
stupid.
up.
It's all good.
But if you go check them out, and
Yeah.
you should,
They're beautiful houses.
16 Grange Mill, 77
Guys, check
Grange
it out.
Mill,
Go
check
check
them
it out.
out
We're gonna have to cut out part of the front of this show just to fit it in, maybe.
to fit it in. Maybe,
Yeah. I don't know.
maybe
Or we
people
just
will
do an
stick
extra long
around.
episode.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nobody
The longest
will
episode we've
listen
ever
to
done.
this. I don't even know if that's true. Might be.
Might be.
Well,
Maybe one of the
hopefully
lives.
there's
Maybe.
something here for somebody. TK,
Yeah.
thank you for listening
It
to
was a
all of
great, it
that.
was a great story.
I just felt like, this is the environment that people are definitely either in that or heading towards that or
There's
just
somebody
gone through it,
who's got Carlos sleeping in their house right now,
If your
getting screwed.
painter is sleeping
Right?
in your
There's somebody
house,
out there right
then
now. Yeah.
you find another painter right now.
Yeah.
TK, it's been fun. It's always fun.